form here at Snetterton. Let's quickly run you through the grid for race number 2. Of course, it's set by the results of race number 1 from earlier on this morning. So it is race 1 winner David Nye, who starts on pole position alongside fellow podium mate Rob Smith. Then it's Zachary Lucas and Jamie Going on the second row of the grid, followed by Alistair Kellett and Dominic Bush. Then Spencer Stevenson, and watch out for Simon Horrobin. He started on pole position on the first race, dropped back as far as about 7th or 8th, had made a couple of mistakes and possible missed gear changes, and because of that he starts 8th, has work to do, but I can guarantee for the pace he had this morning, he won't stay there, so keep an eye on the car from 8th on the grid on row 4. On the 5th row of the grid, it is going to be Stuart Robbins and Gary Miller to round out the top 10, followed by Marco Ricci and William Kellett, who is the first of our ST150 class cars, ahead of Nick Moore and Bridie Davis, and Ethan Rogers and Marlo Cordell, who's making his debut this weekend, starting at 16th on the grid. Then towards the back, we have Matt Chambers. And I need to look at the result of race number 1, because Luke Pinder is also starting at the back of the grid. So I need to look at the results and see if he actually got himself a penalty at all, or he DNF'd, so sadly Luke Pinder did not finish the first race, so because of that he will start towards the back. But again, like Simon Horrobin and co, who might be out of position, I guarantee they won't stay there, so he will start to carve his way through the order as quickly as possible. So cars make their way around onto the grid. You see these brilliant looking new Ford Fiesta ST180 turbos, which of course form the new ST240 class. The reason why they're called ST240 class is because that's how much power they make with the uprated ECU provided by Puma Speed. So from the base horsepower of an ST180 about 180 brake horsepower, they now move up to, you guessed it, 240. So that makes them extra powerful and extra fast on the straights. They are quite literally rocket ships in a straight line. And I know that all the drivers that have been competing in them have been raving about how good these cars are, how good they are to drive, how fast they are, how they stop with the EBC brakes on board with them, how they turn, everything about these cars. And many people are saying that it's good that there's been a bit of a revitalisation of the championship with this new car, because it certainly has brought some older drivers back out of the woodwork and back onto the grid, and some new faces in these cars as well. And of course, don't forget the ST150s. Of course, they are still evergreen in this championship. They've been around for almost more than a decade, of course, and at one point were up to including last year in terms of point scoring, they were the fastest point scoring cars on the grid. They were always towards the front, and at one point we even had grids where there was a dedicated grid full of Class C cars, because there were so many, and the other classes A, B and D would have a separate grid to run by themselves for the at the time newer Mark 7 ZTEC S and the older spec ZTEC and SI models for the Fiesta as well. As David Nye in, don't really see too many open-faced helmets in motorsport these days, but he's running that, of course, in his car. Of course, former BTCC runner, and of course, been former class champion in the Fiesta Championship in the past. He'll be looking to try and get a second win out of 2 so far this weekend. Luke Pinder slots in towards the back. He is in there. John Cooper also starting from the pit lane as well, so he'll have some work to do from the back of the grid. So it looks like he's going to be out for the second race after he missed race 1. And here we go then. The 5-second ball will go up, and the second race of the weekend for the BRSCC Fiesta Championship is all set to get underway. Nye and Smith on the front row of the grid. Can either of them win the sprint down towards turn 1, or what about row 2 backwards from either Jamie Going or Zach Lucas? Away they go. Pretty even start from the front row in the first phase of the start, but in the second phase, looks like I think Nye got a slightly better jump towards the first corner at Ritchie's. They're going to be side by side on the sprint towards the right hand. Look at Zach Lucas peeking out, trying to get second from Rob Smith into Ritchie's for the first time. They'll turn their way through. There's Gary Miller ahead of Stuart Robbins as they come through. And out of the ST150s, I think William Kellett has held on ahead of Nick Moore, with Bridie Davis up there in third. It's 2 by 2 for second and fourth behind David Nye. They head in through Wilson for the first time. It's down Zach Lucas to second place, and with Alistair Kellett to his inside, Rob Smith bounds over the grass and loses 1 spot, loses 2, loses 3, and look who's at it again, both Jamie Going and Simon Horrobin. I told you earlier on, whenever these two are on track near each other, there is never not fireworks. So these two will be at it again, I'm sure. Simon Horrobin, I said, also to watch from him from the 4th row of the grid. He's absolutely rocket propelled up to 4th place, it looks like, down the outside of Rob Smith. He's going to be careful not to turn in across him, which he doesn't. And Gary Miller now makes it a trio of red ST180s now in the order, because he's got past Stuart Robbins, now behind Dominic Bush, who is now behind Spencer Stevenson. As for Simon Horrobin, he's never not exciting when he's on the track battling with somebody. He's trying to go up the inside of Rob Smith, who finds his door closed, then finds his old mate Jamie Going up the inside. These two will not give each other room at all when they're on track together, although I think they just about did that time, which is amazing. And they get back and down the map straight and up towards Brandon Nelson for the first time. These 240 brake horsepower hatches as they're sprinting down the long straight towards this curving left-hander and the tight right of Brundle and Nelson. And the Fiesta ST150 still led by William Kellett with Nick Moore in the mix as well. David Knight continues to lead. Zach Lucas now in second place, but under pressure from former Fiesta champion Alistair Kellett. Like you said, good to see him back. Of course, he's made the trip from Ireland across, and when he came back in October, came back in last month at Alton Park. It was the first time in 18 months that he'd been racing in the Fiesta Championship. He'd been observing his son William's sort of racing career and helping him out a little bit in Irish Fiestas over across the Irish Sea in they regularly race at places like Bordello Park. Both he and William, of course, are back in the championship. Well, it's William's first proper year in the championship, whereas it's Alistair Kellett, of course, is back once again, straight into this brand new ST240 class. And of course, he's converted what was his outstanding ZTEC S into an ST180. He's put the power upgrades in there, and he's certainly proving that why he's been a champion before, at least in Class D and overall. Looking for second place on the inside of Zach Lucas, who both of them are now being caught by Rob Smith again. Down the inside into the Wilson hairpin. Lucas sees him coming, gives him room, and allows him to slip past into second place. So Kellett's through then. And let's see if he can bring the cars behind him and start to close up on it on David Nye, because if he can, that would actually be our fourth different win of the season. So Nye leads then. Now Alistair Kellett into second place. Third place for Zach Lucas. Fourth for Rob Smith. Fifth for Jamie Going. Ahead of Simon Horrobin in sixth. Seventh place. Oh, and there goes Simon Horrobin again, diving up the inside into the hairpin Agostini. He was braking so hard, but he's got through. But they brake so hard sometimes that actually they activate the warning lights that come on. So usually you put them on to kind of warn somebody to say thank you on the road, or to warn there's an accident ahead. But it's also done if you brake very hard, because you have to brake for an accident on the road. But that's the thing with the system on these. It's still engaged. That if you brake hard enough and hit the middle pedal hard enough, it still engages the hazard light, which is quite funny. It just shows just how hard some of these guys are braking to get these cars anchored up. And Spencer Stevenson with Dominic Butch quite literally his rear bumper as they come down towards the back straight. That's what we call bump drafting. And it won't be doing Dominic Bush's engine temperatures any favours, being that close, but it will certainly be helping him get a little bit faster on the straights. To the right-hander through Nelson. It's still the top four. It was the top four as it was. Now it's Simon Horrobin into fifth. Jamie Goings down to sixth, and now he's being under threat from both Spencer Stevenson and Dominic Bush in seventh and eighth. It's now Luke Pinder. It looks like he's up into ninth. So he's got past Stuart Robbins. He started the second lap in 10th. He's got past Stuart Robbins. He's into ninth place, and his first lap across the line, well, it was a 2:25.425, but that was from the grid. So his first proper flying lap, we'll get an idea of his pace already at this early stage in a moment when he crosses the line. Nice. So Nye goes across and does a 2 minutes 12.607, only fractionally faster than Kellett. So Nye and Kellett are very evenly matched in terms of lap time. And they're at least a second lap quicker than everyone else. Simon Horrobin's at a 2:12.8. He's the second fastest man out there. As for Pinder, 2:13.5. So got some work to do, but he's pulling away from Robbins pretty quickly. And his next targets are going to be the three-car scrap that's going on now between these three, Going, Stevenson and Bush. So Dominic Bush in car number 9, Stevenson in car number 12, and then Jamie Going in his customary number 46. So turn in through left-hander. There's your timing tower on the left-hand side. Confirmation also of the ST150s. It is still William Kellett who leads the way. Now Nick Moore is still in second, and it's now It's Ethan Rogers up to third place ahead of Bryony Davis, Marlo Cordell, and then Matt Chambers to round out the 6 ST150s that are in the field. And I thought that we were going to get also John Cooper in the field, but looks like he either went to go and take the start, or from the pit lane, or went to go and leave to get to the grid originally, and finally had to come into the pit lane because of an issue with the car. So sadly, no John Cooper for this second race. Hopefully he can get out for race 2 tomorrow and fix the issue. But it's a shame for the cross race winner. Took the double and since. So hopefully he can get over it and get over the hump of his bad luck and be able to get back on form pretty quickly. So David Nye then, 1.4 seconds was the gap. I wonder if it's looking a bit closer this time between the two of them. It is, and you can see Alistair Kellett really pushing hard, as is Zachary Lucas. He goes a bit of a rallycross route, exiting the right-hander at Nelson. That's put him under pressure from both Rob Smith and also the charging Simon Horrobin. I think Simon could be on for a podium here if he plays his cards right. I think he's a bit too far away to catch these two in first and second place, although you never know, anything can happen really. But there is Horrobin in 5th place, and the matte grey number 14 machine. Usually, he's raced before in the Fiesta Championship. His car has been quite a bright shade of orange, so you can still see some hints of orange on the number plate for the branding. Now, as a warning's gone out to car 12, Spencer Stevenson, for track limits. So that's what the black and white flag is for. Now, across the line, Kellett was 0.8 of a second quicker than David Nye, but the fastest man on track was that man right there, Simon Horriby. He did a 2 minutes 12.123 to steal away the fastest lap of the race. So, and actually it was fractions faster than Alistair Kellett. So Kellett and Horriby are the two fastest men on the circuit right now, and Horriby has got to try and get past both Smith and Lucas, and then get onto the back of Kellett and Nye, provided that Kellett can't get past Nye and get held up. So let's see if there's any chance he can try and close in here. Down towards Agostini. Comes Horriby. There's a little peak on the outside line, but you can see that Rob Smith, he's going to try and dummy him down towards the Agostini hairpin. He tried it. It's great how these cars just swerve and move around under braking. It's a brilliant sight to watch. You almost think they're not going to make the corner, but they're just they're that good in these cars, and they have that much grip on these Goodyear slicks that they do offer some fantastic cornering speeds and braking ability as well, because of course the grip of the tyres are on top of the quality of the brakes, the later you can tend to brake. So into Williams now for the fourth time, 6 minutes 55 on the clock to go in this second BRSCC Fiesta Championship race of the season. It's nice to see the buzz around this championship again, of course, with these brand new cars, the ST150 still staying around for the drivers that want to jump into the championship and give it a try for the first time. It's actually a really nice stepping stone for these drivers to get in, and of course when they feel they're comfortable enough they can bump into one of the ST240s. Alistair Kellett getting up on 2 wheels, that's a sign of commitment, isn't it? And again, also for Dominic Bush, that's not going to help him in his efforts to try and defend from Luke Pinder, who is right on his bumpers to come into the bomb hole. That was close. Luke Pinder tried to squeeze up the inside, but Dominic Bush just about closed the door and they almost made contact. So that was very, very lucky between the three of them. Speaking of a trio, here is Lucas, Smith and Horriby, third, fourth and fifth, and it's going. Stevenson, Dominic Bush has gone wide. What's happened to Luke Pinder? Where is Luke Pinder? Oh, there's Luke Pinder. So I wonder where he went for a second. He must have skipped across the grass, but he came in through, there must have been side by side on the exit. And there must have been a point where Pinder tried to turn in, found that Stevenson was starting to understeer a bit wide. I thought, well, rather than make contact, I'll have to skip across the grass. And then when the camera came back into shot, Luke Pinder just appeared on the exit of Murray's as he tried to go through. So that was possibly quite a puzzling moment there for a rather bemused Spencer Stevenson after that happened. Sorry, Dominic Bush, not Spencer Stevenson. With the leaders, I think Kellett was a bit wide on the apex of looked to be the Wilson hairpin, and so he's still in second place but lost a little bit more time. Last time by, Kellett was fractionally quicker, but the lap times were virtually identical because it was a personal best for Nye, but it was still a fraction slower than Kellett's best time, as Horriby now tries to peek up the inside of Rob Smith, gets a better drive off the corner if he can. They're both going to sprint down towards Hamilton's side by side, but Horriby knows he won't give it up that easy. Smith goes round the outside and holds on, but he runs wide in the exit, drops a wheel onto the grass, and now Horriby will try and get him back up the inside into Oggies. He always does that, doesn't he? He always tries to just squeeze up the inside and surprise the car in front and just arrive on the apex as they try and turn in. You can't fault Horriby's commitment. He really does go for it when there's an option to go through. He's one of the most spectacular drivers in the championship, for one reason or another. And back straight he goes, and that slipstream of Rob Smith using that turbo power to try and close in. And both of them, from their squabbles, have managed to drop away a bit from the 111 car of Zach Lucas, so they managed to get himself into a more comfortable third place. The gap was 0.6 of a second. It looks a bit more than that now between the top two as we continue to watch Rob Smith versus Simon Horriby. But I suspect that there's probably going to be a chance for Kellett to close back in again, because again, he last up, even though it was a fraction faster, he was still quicker as see Nice car moving around a bit there on the apex through Coram. There goes fourth and fifth. Here goes Smith and Horriby, who again is just creeping onto the rear of that car and trying to get close to the slipstream. He's right in the toe now, so he'll try and put himself in, try and get through. Now, Nye's not comfortable in the lead here. He would normally stick to the inside line, get the shortest run down the pit straight, but he had to go straight to the outside line because he tried to break the toe that Kellett had. Meanwhile, for fourth, here comes Horriby down the inside into Ritchie's corner. Smith lets him have it. And a nice clean pass. Simon Horobin is up to 4th now. Now he's got 3.5 minutes to try and catch and pass Zach Lucas. It's not impossible, but he'd have to push very hard, and he won't do it like that, running very wide into the Wilson hairpin. It's a bit of a strange line, but it still gets him ahead of Rob Smith. I was calling Rob Green, but he's not a goalkeeper, he's a racing driver. As he comes into the left-hander at Palmer's. Now again, looking at lap times, new fastest lap of the race again for Alistair Kellett, and he was a 10th quicker. So the fastest lap now goes to Kellett on a 2 minutes 12.048. So it means he's compared to a 2 minutes 12.174. Again, look at that again, just to showcase how hard Horobin stands on that middle pedal to get that car anchored up for the corner. So let's look at his pace now. The last lap time for Horobin was 2 minutes 13.433. Lucas's last lap was a 2:12.389. But bear in mind, Smith and Horobin had spent a lap and a half battling, so that would have been to a detriment of his pace. Now that he's got clean air to try and chase after him, which they'll probably be about roughly one more lap after the end of this one, because the lap time is about 2 minutes 12. So they're into Brundle and Nelson, the leaders, heading up towards it with about 2:25 to go. So yeah, this will be the last lap next time. They'll start the last lap next time they come across the line. But David Nye, though, knows he's got a lap and a bit to try and hold off the Flying Irishman, because Alistair Kellett is really pushing him hard. Of course, these two, they know what it takes to win races, they know what it takes to win their class, they know what it takes to win championships in the Fiesta series. So they're no strangers to it, and they're going into some direct combat here. They might not always gone into direct combat before, because David Nye's usually been a Class C driver in the ST150s, while the Z-Tech S's was usually the domain of Alistair Kellett. But these two now going directly head-to-head now. And Kellett now closer than he's ever been. That's definitely not half a second. That's much closer. They hug the pit wall. Last lap board goes out. That's not a 5-second penalty, because that's showing the other side of the board. So here comes Kellett then, looking to the outside line. He's got one chance into Ritchie's. If he can do the undercut and force David Nye wide, which I think he has just about on the exit. This is going to set him up for a possible look into the Wilson hairpin. He might break a little bit later, but Nye goes defensive, holds the inside line, forces Kellett to go a long way round. And now they nose to tail on the exit of the hairpin up towards the left-hander at Palmer's. And if Kellett can get a good drive through this left-hander, he might get one of his best chances down towards Agostini, but he needs to get a good run off the corner and stay close and get a slipstream. He's wide on the exit, but he's very, very close. And Nye has to go to the middle of the race, not comfortable. And again, goes to the middle of the track, hits the brakes, and when he outbrake himself, Kellett's sliding a little bit wide, but he catches it nicely. These two pretty much locked together in combat. They are that close. Now also we should watch out for cross line there. Look at the background. That's 3rd and 4th battling. I looked at the gap as you what it was between Lucas and Horobin. It was 9/10 per second. It ain't 9/10 per second now. They're nose to tail for 3rd. So Simon Horobin could charge onto the podium here if he pulls off a last gasp move on Zachary Lucas. And Lucas was 3rd in the first race, so he'll be looking to get 2 podiums in a row. Where's 3rd and 4th? No one is it in. It's still Lucas ahead of Horobin, but Horobin gets a tighter run onto the bendy straight, and he's right there in the slipstream. Here he comes with a much better run of momentum. Darts out to the outside line for Brundle, and look at the straight line speed he's got. Lucas' momentum has been hit, taking a bit of a blow with a bit of a wayward run out of Williams' corner. If you can go around the outside, as Alistair Kellett takes a wide approach into Brundle to get the run back on the exit. Can't quite do it. That might have been his last chance gone. As for 3rd, no, it hasn't happened, because Lucas breaks later and holds on ahead of 3rd place with Simon Horobin. It might be a drag race to the line if Horobin gets a better drive through the corner, but he's attacking him all the way through the bomb hole. And now up towards Coram for the final time, looking this way and that, but he can't find a way through. Leaders into Coram for the final time, and then Murray's. Kellett is as close as he's ever going to be. He's right on the rear bumper. He's so close. If you can get a run down the pit straight, it might be a photo finish. The sprint to the checkered flag begins, but I think it might well just be enough for David Nye to hold on. Alistair Kellett will move out, but it's going to be too late. It's 2 for David Nye. Alistair Kellett is 2nd, and Zach Lucas, after a late challenge from Simon Horobin, will just hold on to 3rd. It's Lucas 3rd, it's Horobin 4th, Rob Smith 5th, and Jamie Going in 6th position. And it's Spencer Stevenson in 7th place. Lucas from the back of the grid finishes 8th. So that's certainly a damage limitation for him in his points charge. And for Stuart Robbins. And Marco Ricci will fill out the top 10 ahead of Gary Miller and Dominic Bush. Dominic Bush dropped back for some reason in the latter stage. There might be a change on at the back of the field. So just at the top of the shot here. So Marco Ricci will come across in P10. For P11, it's side by side. It's Miller or Bush. Who's it going to be? Side by side. I think Miller got it just on the line. He did, and by the smallest of margins, 26 1/1000 of a second, which is close. Now then, for the ST150s, look at this. 3 of them together. And I think William Kellett is going to take it from Ethan Rogers here, down towards the checkered flag. Kellett wins 2 in a row. It's here in race number 2. It's then Ethan Rogers second, and Nick Moore with his second class podium of the weekend on his debut. Great stuff from Nick Moore. Of course, he's an experienced Hyundai Coupe Cup and Ginetta racer, so he's no stranger to small, powerful cars and front-wheel drive cars. So this is now a small, powerful front-wheel drive car, and putting it all together and certainly getting top results. So, great stuff from the Fiesta Championship. They'll have one more race tomorrow. But to confirm the result, it's David Nye who wins by 0.2 of a second from Alistair Kellett in second place. It's then Zachary Lucas who only just holds on by less than 0.2 of a second from Simon Horrobin, take third and fourth respectively. It's then Rob Smith in fifth, Jamie Going sixth, Spencer Stevenson seventh, Luke Pinder gets eighth. It's then Stuart Robbins ninth and Marco Ricci rounding out the top 10. A photo finish between Gary Miller and Dominic Bush. Miller beat Bush by 26 thousandths of a second. And then there on screen are your ST150s. In fact, your top 3 almost in order. It's William Kellett who wins for the second time in class from Ethan Rogers on his tail in second place. And then in third place, it will be Nick Moore from Marlowe Cordell and Bryony Davis, with Matt Chambers also just crossing the line there to complete all the finishes. The only car which didn't take part was sadly John Cooper once again, thanks to his troubles after what appears to be after qualifying, it seems. So that's a shame. So there's both David Knight and Alistair Kellett. I'm sure conversing all smiles after that superb race-long battle between them. And Kellett came close in those opportunities, but couldn't quite manage it. There'll be a bit of a reverse grid, I think, for the third race. So they'll try and work it through. There's Zach Lucas getting the handshake as well. Congratulations from his top 2. But let's see what they thought of that. Let's head down to Josh Barrett and have a chat to our top 3 from our second race of the weekend for the BRSCC Fiesta Championship from the top 3 ST240s and 150s.
So we're down here in the Fiesta Championship, Parc Fermé. It was a win again for David Nye. David, if I can interrupt your conversation. Well done, David, another win, but that time it was getting quite close towards the end.
It was. He he made an old man sweat. But yeah, extremely good fun. I'm glad it's only 15 minutes and not 20. It was some race. Bit agricultural, I think, but yeah, no, really good.
Obviously, in the middle you had a nice gap, but then Allison was working away at that.
Yeah, no, he picked it up. I've got an unfair advantage being in front. I'm pushing this wind, and you get a fair old slipstream off of it, so I'm trying to break it going. But yeah, it's one thing in the front, it's another thing getting past. But yeah, it's good.
Is it an easy track to defend on, or is it quite hard work?
Relatively easy if the straights. If you're going to get you on the straights, corners are pretty much anybody's. But the first corner, like, you're absolutely flat out round there. You think, is he going to go round there? Maybe. Yeah. Okay, we'll make it go round there, and you can just try to keep it on the. You have to believe in it, and it goes round. But yeah, there's a few corners like that. Brakes is one thing, back-ended is another. Keeps braking away on some of the corners. Something they've got to dial out on the car. Yeah, it's good.
Well, well done on 2 wins today, and good luck tomorrow. In second place was Alistair Kellett. We get Alistair over now. A great race from you, fastest lap in there as well, chasing the leader.
Chasing. I got a great start in the first race, and Luke was in front of me, and I just had nowhere to go, and then got blocked. And I made a mistake as well and everything else, so I got a great start. Got into third, I think, behind Zach. And I cleared Zach. I had to clear Zach in the first lap, but the second lap cleared him, and David was gone. And I just caught, and then once I got on his toe, I was all over him. And we nearly went off. I'd say 3 times every lap we nearly went off, pushing so hard. Brilliant race, brilliant. It's great to race David anyway, so very good.
These cars are obviously pretty new to the championship. Everyone seems to be enjoying them. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, the cars are brilliant, absolutely brilliant to drive. Loads of power. The tyres are fantastic, and the cars are fantastic, and they're really quick, like, you know. So, and the thing is, when you have a big slide, it's at a lot of speed as well, so it makes it exciting. So it's good.
Great to watch. Well done on second place. Then in third place was Zach Lucas, and we get Zach over. Third place for you. You had Simon catching towards the end there.
Yeah, I sure did. He was definitely catching up me, and I think another couple of laps he would have been probably past me. I reckon my tyres were gone off, and well, I didn't have much more in me, that's for sure.
Now looking to tomorrow, that might be a different day. Just the one race, I think, tomorrow, but the conditions are a big question mark over those.
Definitely, yeah. It all depends on the weather, what we're going to do, and yeah, hopefully it stays dry and we'll have a good race. But I'm not bothered if it gets wet as well, so it's good.
That's something you enjoy driving in?
I do, yeah. I do like the wet. makes a change now and again, and a bit more interesting, a few more people coming off, and a bit more fun.
And obviously not been any testing or any practice in the wet, so does that make the setup for tomorrow possibly difficult?
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. Because like you say, we haven't tested on wet, so we haven't really set up the suspension properly for that. But I'm sure we'll be all right. We've got a good team behind us. So.
Well done on third place.
Thank you. Cheers.
So third place there is Zach Lucas, second Alistair Caddett, and double race winner this weekend, David Nye.